Right, so I just put out an alert to send me some tickers that anybody wants charted. MRO is the first one, so we're going to run over this one. I'm going to switch over to the daily chart. So this doesn't look awful. It's a weird little head and shoulders here, and it looks like it is bouncing off the 34 EMA. So if this can close green or at least as a doji, that would be nice and kind of give some confidence that it could continue up. So let's see here. I'm going to run a fib from here to here. So it just needs to get over 1130, I think, for it to be solid for entry. And then we should be able to ride it back up. It could make like a weird looking cup and handle or just a cup. 1334 would be the target. It's nothing I would enter right now. Let's run some deeper fibs and see if this gives us anything. So I'll get rid of this one here. It looks fine. It's nothing really I would enter yet. What is the next one? Fuel cell. All right, staying on the daily chart. So we have support here at 1347. It's at 1462. That's a full dollar away. So I'll move it up here to 1376, just catch those wicks a little bit. Again, let me run a fib from this level to up here. I need to adjust this a little bit. All right. So if this could bounce, it looks like 1798 or $18. Oh, 1809 is actually the point. I'll switch this to a weekly. Whoops. So weekly time frame. It's a little bit bear flaggy. Not a huge fan of that. And then we'll just start working our way down to the lower time frames. It could just kind of continue on like this. This is a very strong 4-hour candle. So if you're gonna do anything, I would wait for a bounce up, but it's really nothing that I'm sold on. XL is our next one. So I'm gonna leave this on the 4-hour. There's actually not enough data to go back on the daily chart. So this one was looking solid. It had a very nice base here in the $20 range. Now it looks like it's kind of trying to find a bottom here in the 10s, which is really unfortunate. 4-hour chart looks honestly awful. Point of control is here. That's nice. So $12, it looks like there's a lot of buying and selling going on at $12. Hopefully that helps it form a base. This could have been just panic selling. This is seller's exhaustion here, so you can see this reversal and then it kind of trends up a little bit. Little head and shoulders pattern going on the 2-hour, nothing crazy. I would not enter anything on XL until it's at least over 1370. So this would be a nice little entry point. I'm going to mark that for myself in case it does hit that. So just highlight it a little bit for entry. I don't know why that didn't work, whatever. AMD. AMD on the daily looks like an inverse cup and handle. So let me get this rolling. So a little inverse cup and handle there with the base break here, which is very strong. So this is super strong support. If this comes down and tests this, this is a bounce watch. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be its 5th test on many different days. This has a lot of candles touching this. So the more often that the candles are touching the support level, the stronger it is. The same goes with resistance. So if this comes down and touches this and shows signs of bouncing, I would be confident in entering that for a bounce play. You could see this start to coil up a little bit, forming a bear flag, which then could possibly break up. If this starts to fall down and it's testing these lower lows, I would definitely be playing puts on this or shorting it, whatever you're comfortable with. So it looks like from there, we have really strong support here at the 58 area. I know that's a massive, massive move that it would need to make, but that is what the level is showing us. So I'm gonna change this to red for shorting. So this is your kind of profit area. If it does break down, there's really not a lot of support in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and chart this here. So yeah, that fib is placed perfectly. It needs to break through these points here, and then it looks like 60, 62 is going to be the next major area of resistance. You can expect these even numbers, these very round numbers like 70, which you can see it had a little bit of consolidation there. So you would expect that to have to put up some fight as well. So look out for that. Okay, Tesla is the next request. Let me get rid of all of that. Let me get rid of this. So actually here, I'm going to leave this up. Elliott wave, you can see it. It did complete all of them. Now it needs to hold this level. It cannot dip beneath this here. If it dips beneath this, it basically ruins this entire Elliott wave pattern. It renders it invalid. On the daily chart, Tesla is a little bit of, I don't know if you would call this a weird head and shoulders or an inverse cup and handle. Definitely bearish, especially with the banning in China news that came out today. Today in general, or not today in general, but on the 2-hour chart in general, this inverse cup, it looks like could still continue. So this is kind of the base that you're looking for. 594 seems to be the absolute worst case scenario. If it were to fall beneath that, then you have 546. I don't really see this happening. That was more of a panic sell. So I'm not very happy with the Tesla chart. Being a Tesla shareholder, it's great for averaging down if you're holding from the highs. If you got in pre-split, then you'll be averaging up still. 1-hour chart shows the point of control right here at 645, which is nice. It's at 647 currently. This is a little bit of a bear flag. So if this were to break down, then it looks like this is our next spot to go. But if you switch down to a 30-minute chart, I believe we have 623. Maybe we don't. Yeah, 623 right here. I think that's 623. 622. We do have a little bit of support here, which you can see it whipped off of. So overall bearish for Tesla. Okay, somebody wants me to chart GameStop. Really? GameStop on the 30-minute inverse cup. Well, no, it's no longer an inverse cup and handle because this has retraced more than 50% of the cup, which renders it invalid. So let me switch to the daily chart. The daily chart, honestly, I hate to say it, but it looks kind of nice. I like the cup and handle. I like that it's bouncing off this 20 EMA. These long wicks show that it comes down and it immediately pulls right back up. We have the point of control here at 205. That seems to be a pretty good level for it. It is on the move today. There's no huge patterns that are kind of forming. You can see the RSI is curling back up. It's getting back into that bullish territory. If it were to revisit this 270 area, I would not be surprised if that were to happen in the next few days. CCIV is the next one. Let's see here. So CCIV has had a rough time. Let's run a fib here. So it's actually bouncing off of this 23%, which sucks because it's usually a pretty easy fib to break through. You can see it's a double top there. I think that it's going to hover here with the EMAs for a while. I don't see it making too many volatile moves anytime soon. There's just not that much volume in it anymore. So if it does break through this level, then this 37 area is where I would look to scale out, take profits, hold some for this 42 level. If it can break through that, then 50, what is this? So 52, I would go with a round number 50. Stocks really they're attracted to round numbers, whether that's bouncing off them or just being rejected from them. So FCX. Switch to the daily chart. This looks really nice. This looks like it could be nice on the weekly. So the weekly chart, it looks like it's setting up as a bull pennant. This looks really nice. Did I not grab that? Okay. So hopefully over the next 2-3 weeks, we see this fill out a little bit more. It should consolidate. If as long as there's no crazy thing that happens with the market, which it seems it's been holding up fairly well, this would be great for selling premium on. If you want to sell puts, you only need $3,500 to sell a put currently, an out of the money put at least. So it is consolidating here. Again, it's respecting the EMAs very well. So I would bet that this coils up a little bit. Once you see this breaking this point here, 37.57, that's where I would start scaling in. And then once it actually is testing this 39.11 area, and it breaks, that's where I would enter. And then over 40 is going to be new territory for it. And let's see if we can get what a target would be for up there. I'm running my fibs a little conservatively, so it looks like 42, 44, 48. This 39% level is, well, I guess that's my high. I can't count that. But this 23% level, like I said, generally the easiest one to break. This is where I would start taking my profits. So I'm going to leave this in here in case we do end up taking this entry, if it all works out. So profit region, profit region, sorry about that. FCX, Tesla, ZOM, AMC, GameStop, Fiverr, Plug, CGC, and NNDM. Okay. ZOM, daily chart looks nice going back all the way to COVID. I already have this charted out. You can see it bounced perfectly off of this fib. It is falling down and it's bouncing off of this one. So if anything, it's going to consolidate here. You can see it bounce nicely off of this 34 EMA, close enough, and off of this fib. So this is a little bit of a head and shoulders here if it bounces up and forms another one. So nothing good for entry yet, but if we can see it kind of breaking up to this VWAP area, so this is 60, that's where I would kind of look at an entry. Aside from that, nothing special in my opinion. Let's see, Snap. So the daily chart on Snap, this looks boring to me. There's really nothing going on. There's a little bit of support here, which it looks like it's respecting. So if it can hold here and bounce up, that's great for calls. If not, you're looking at, what is this? 52.62. Let me adjust that a little bit. So we'll just go with the wick, 52.16. Snap is nothing special. Load, what is load? Okay, this looks nice. So it had a huge pop from, what is that, $1 to $9.80. That is crazy. So the good thing about this is it will probably do it again at some point. I like $5.90, which is still a solid gain. I mean, going from where it's at right now to $5.90 is a 12% profit, which is really nice. So, and that's just on common stock. If you can get through that, then you're looking at sevens. I mean, really, this would be your entry point. It looks really nice. So you could start to scale in on load here. So the next one is skills. This doesn't look good. I don't like this. Support would be here, kind of exactly where it's at, to be honest. So if it's not bouncing here, if you're in this, I would get out, but this is a head and shoulders, and it is, look at that gap. That's terrible. If it were to bounce here, it would probably gap fill up here. The point of control is here, so there's a lot of shares waiting to be sold at this level, which is 26.72. Aside from that, that's not enough reward for the risk, I think. Plug is the next one. Excuse my kindergarten looking. No, don't do that. All right. Okay, plug. This is, I mean, inverse cup and handle. This looks bad. So support here, 37.68, which it broke through, so now it's resistance, but it looks like it's using the 180 EMA here for support. If it were to break beneath 34.73, that is where I would look to short it. CGC, weed stocks are hot right now. So this is consolidating right at all the EMAs. That's really nice. I'm going to pull a fib here. It's consolidating right on the fib, which is good. And so here, 38.57 is your next target. So if it can hold above this 23% line, then you're looking at a solid $4 gain, which is great, especially if you're doing options. And then from there, you've got 45. So CGC looks nice. NNDM, little bull flag here on the daily. It looks good. It's consolidating. It bounced off this fib perfectly. It's got support at $6, which it didn't really hit. You can see seller's exhaustion here, and that's what this candle is. And you have a straight up reversal. So it's setting up as a bull pennant, bull flag. And then if it can, and point of control is here. So this is a very happy level for it. I think people are seeing value in this stock at this level in the 1030s. So from here, wait for it to break 1160 is really what you would want to go for. So once it breaks 1160, you should be solid to ride this back up. I'm not exactly sure where your profit taking would be, but I would just scale out. If you're doing options, 25% each time. If you're in shares, then I would just keep averaging in. And then, this is a great stock. It's they have a great business model, what they're doing with their 3D printers. So I'm confident that this would hit $20. So I would just keep averaging into it, to be honest, once it gets over 1160. So it looks like SOS is a request, which I actually posted this yesterday, but I can do it again. So SOS on the weekly is a bull pennant, looks great. The fibs, these are wild targets, honestly. So 14 would be the first target, 22 being the second target. This is all if Bitcoin can remain very strong. So let's see here. It's consolidating nicely. I'm actually in this trade. This is, it's a descending wedge, but this breaks up more often than it breaks down. So if it gets over 860, I'm going to go fairly heavy into it, and then hopefully can ride it up if it can get past this 980 area to $14. That would be great. And Microvision is the next one. So Microvision on the daily, this looks really nice. It is coiling up. I wonder if you can see this a little bit easier on the weekly. No, you can't. It looks weird. I hate it. So bouncing off of this 50 EMA, or not 50, I'm sorry, that is, what the hell is that? Oh, it is the 50, okay. Wow, I didn't realize that I still had that. So the 50 SMA, actually, it's bouncing off of that. Now it's bouncing off the 20 EMA. This is a little bit of a cup and handle, which I do really like. I wonder if the 4 hour is gonna spot that. So 4 hour cup, this is a very long handle, so it's probably not that valid, but as long as it gets over, I would enter over 1746, and then you can ride it up to this level here, 1870. And then from there, let's run a fib. I'm going to run a fib from this candle and be a little conservative with it. So it looks like the 1936 area and then 21. But Microvision is bullish. Look, at its high at 24, it fell down to 11, and now it's hovering very nicely in between those. So I think that this shortly will start continuing its way back up. Disney, this looks fine, I guess. It's been super strong the past few days, as you can see here, hitting the EMAs, bouncing up, hits the 20, bounces up, hits the 20, bounces up, and it's hitting the 20/34 now. So hopefully we can see it bounce up. We can see that the bounces were getting a little bit less profitable as they went on. So this one might just bounce up to back to 200 and might kind of round itself out. But overall, I am bullish on Disney. I think that this is going to bounce hopefully within the next few days. And 198 is kind of where I would go for profits. That's the level I would look for. And GNOG. I think GNOG is the last one. Let me check. Chart AMD, workhorse, ride pen. Fuck, no, I have a few more. So GNOG, it looks like a very nice bull flag here. Point of control is right where it's at, so that's always something that you want to see. There is a lot of buyers down here. This is my volume by price. So there's a lot of volume down here. There's a lot of people who are looking to buy and sell shares there. And then same thing goes for up here. So it should push a little bit higher. It's right at the EMAs, which is always something you want to see. I'll run that. And it looks like 1803 is the first target. So if it can break through that, then you have 21. I would not enter until it breaks this 38%. Once it breaks that, you know, the next fib is at 21, but make sure that you are careful about these levels right here. So why can't I grab it? So 20 and 1897. So these are the two levels I would look out for. That's really kind of where I would be looking to take profits. So in this area right here is kind of the profit region. So Workhorse. This looks terrible. I don't like Workhorse. I think it's a very bad company. The point of control is right here. It honestly doesn't look like it's going to be going any lower than this. If it does, then I mean, I would get out of it honestly, because it was at what, $3. It had this huge spike for no reason. It had this huge plummet based off of the USPS contract getting awarded to somebody else, which then was retraced. And Workhorse did not react to that like I was expecting it to. I think it's a bad company. If you're holding from up here, I'm sorry, but there's really nothing else to say about it. Ride, this is giving me a headache. I don't know what's going on here. So we have support here, $13. If it can hold this, we should bounce up to at least $15 just for a lot of these shorts to cover. It's just not, this is not a good looking chart. And look at all these gap downs. That's bad. So we can draw a trend line here. And if it were to break out, you would want to see it consolidating here and get on the other side of this trend line. If it can do that, we should see at least a small curl back up. But overall, I don't think that's nothing that I would really get into. Penn, the S&P news didn't really do much for it, which is crazy. I was expecting it to go wild. It does have a really nice chart. I like this a lot on the daily. Let me pull up the weekly. I don't know if there's enough. The weekly is crazy looking. So you can see that this was a little bit of a bull flag with a breakout and a retest. That was a failed breakout, but it's hovering nicely on the 50 and the 34s. This is kind of the range that you want it to be in. It's sitting nicely between the EMAs. You've got some support here at 111. It's currently at 118. That's where the point of control is as well. So I'm very confident that within the next few days, we start to see it push up again. If we see 126 next week, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And that's it. No more charts. We're good.